Alright, I just read something. This can be a very quick video. This is kind of disturbing. One of the things that I follow is the web bots. And I just got the latest report, like, I don't know, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And it's focusing on the next few months, weeks, few months, and then just slightly in the 2011, that kind of time frame. And it's basically made some predictions, as it always does, in which most are usually right. Not always, but most of them are. And one of the things that it said is that fresh water, such as aquifers, are going to be, I guess, become undrinkable, unusable for us humans and anything else that drinks the water. Partly due to seawater entering those aquifers somehow, and therefore we can't drink seawater. And the other thing it said was some type of air pollution from the air. So I'm thinking, well, what do you mean air pollution? That didn't sound right to me. But anyways, I think it now sounds right to me. Oil spill threatens total destruction. The British petroleum oil spill is threatening the entire eastern half of the North American continent with total destruction, the report says. An ominous report by Russia's Ministry of Natural Resources warned of the impending disaster resulting from the BP oil and gas leak in the Gulf of Mexico, calling it the worst environmental catastrophe in all of human history, the European Union Times reported. Russian scientists believe BP is pumping millions of gallons of Corexit 9500, a chemical dispersant agent, under the Gulf of Mexico waters to hide the full extent of the leak, now estimated to be over 2.9 million gallons a day. Experts say Corexit 9500 is a solvent 4 times more toxic than the oil. The agent, scientists believe, has a 2.61 parts per million toxicity level, and when mixed with the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, its molecules will be able to phase transition, they say. This transition involves the change of the liquid into a gaseous state, which can be absorbed by clouds. The gas will then be released as toxic rain, leading to unimaginable environmental catastrophe, destroying all life forms from the bottom of the evolutionary chart to the top, the report says. I want to throw another keyword out there that the webbot has seen in the data for years. And it's in every single report they run, it's always there. And what that means when they run a report, like for example, if they make a prediction off of one of their reports and it says something's going to happen and then they miss it and it doesn't happen, it doesn't show up in the report later as, oh hey, you missed it. It's back in the report again. Guess try again, try next year, maybe it'll happen next year. No, it's gone and it never comes back. If they have data that keeps coming up every time, the same keyword hit or whatever you want to call it, in every report, every several months they run it, every few years, it's always in there. It's going to happen, pretty much 100%. Long-term data always happens, apparently, with the webbot report. Sometimes they make the forecast and say, well, we think it's this year because it looks like it's a strong possibility from the data, and then it doesn't happen. And then it's like the year later, like, oh, we missed it, but here's the event, we missed it by the year. It's their interpretation. It's not perfect, and they never said it was perfect. Anyways, one of the keywords, ill, like sick, ill winds. Ill winds. That's interesting. Another keyword tied with that also, actually, the same data, is oceans getting a flu, or as they called it, the blue flu, and it was in regards to the oceans becoming sick, right? And life in the oceans, etc. So here we have an oil spill, which is not a natural disaster, right? No, they never said it had to be, but they're just seeing some keywords, some things that have been coming in the data for a long time now, and interpreting what they think it might be. And this is the report I'm reading right now. It's pretty disturbing, because think of the word ill winds poisoning people all over the planet, according to the report. It will circle the earth many times before it finally cleans itself out, whatever this little ill winds is. it's going to kill lots of people. There's no necessarily a safe place to run. One of the other things that they saw in the data was millions and millions of people in America apparently heading north past a certain latitude and longitude or whatever above a certain point, and I forget what it was, but it was like basically entering into Canada. Millions, all at the roughly the same time. I'm thinking, what kind of event could happen? Now I'm seeing this oil spill, reading more into it, seeing the destruction, and I started thinking, well, even if it washes up on the shore, is that reason for people to leave and go, up into Canada? No, not necessarily. Not millions of people. But what if a hurricane blew through, picked up the oil, threw it all over the land and houses, destroyed houses, farming, gardens, stuff like that? I thought, well, that could be a possibility, but there's no hurricane right now, but there could be. So that was a possibility. It's been, I've been thinking about it. And then I see this report right now. And let me read that last bit to you again. This transition involves the change of the liquid of this toxic shit they're putting in the oil to try to flush it away so that we don't realize how big the oil spill is. This transition involves the change of the liquid into a gaseous state which can be absorbed by clouds. The gas will then be released as toxic rain, leading to unimaginable environmental catastrophes, destroying all forms of life from the bottom of the food chain all the way up to the top. Ill winds sounds pretty good here, because if that stuff can get sucked into the clouds and drop down all over the place through the clouds and rain wherever they blow to, that fits that word pretty well. The blue flu, which stood for the oil disaster or the ocean disaster that's going to kill lots of life in the ocean, calling it the blue flu, it's the keyword that came out of it, and the attached keywords to it made them know it was in the oceans, that this is going to be an issue. That's obviously the oil, I'm going to say. It's pretty safe to say that now. So there's another hit, looks like. And then we have this latest report, which is in the very immediate near future data, which is saying that fresh water is going to be a little issue getting polluted by some kind of air pollutant, as well as seawater entering into the system, the freshwater system. That could be done by earthquakes, earth change type activity, which is out of control right now, by the way. Volcanic activity, earthquake activity is breaking like records of activity. That could cause that type of thing with seawater entering into aquifer. But the air pollutant side of water getting polluted, I thought to myself, what it could possibly be? Nuclear fallout? I don't know. But this makes sense. Core exit 9500 is a solvent 4 times more toxic than oil. Yeah, I just shook my magic 8 ball, and it said, you humans are screwed. Yeah, that's all I got.